Good morning, students. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is waris Jamal. Today is 13th of May, and I'm going to tell you about form in HTML. Actually, this is a part of your syllabus. You must aware of it. Actually, form is what? What is form? Have you seen many times in the online when you are register yourself in online portal? You see various types of form is nothing but is a console. It is just a platform from the users. Information is to be taken by the particular server and save it in their database. Actually, form, you have seen the form, you have seen many things over there. Just you have typed the text, that is called the text field. You select the option, either you are male or female, whether you are selecting your gender, you are selecting your state. There are number of states over there, you select one of them, you type some remark over there. There are so many things in the form that you can see. But the students, what is a form? When the questions come in examination, define form, so just you have to write down form is a interface by which the user's information, user data is to be collected and stored in some database file. So in HTML, we have to also learn about what are the different ways to create a form, what are the different components, what are the different elements of creating a form. So students, when you want to create a form in HTML, you need form tag. Form tag is a container tag that help you to create a form. Then actually, the form tag is just as you used HTML tag, they define only the structure. On the same way, the form tag is define the structure of the form. But there are various elements that help us to accept the data from the user. Just example, the input element, the element that help us to input the information, input the information from the user sides. That's come in the category of input element. Okay, the second element is in the input element there are different fields. First of all, the text field. In the text field you type the name, your password, your remarks. On the same way, there is a checkbox field also. That help us to that help us to select the information from the multiple choice option. There are different options. As you go to a different portal and see the checkbox like this, there are different options like A, B, C, D. There are different options. When you want to select more than one option, then that time you have to use checkbox. That is also the part of the input element. That input element is the element that help us you to input the information. From what are the different way we can input the information? We can take the information from the user side by the help of the text field. In the text field, the user type the data information, just like username, password, father name, mother name, address. All things are stored in the text field. The checkbox, when you want to choose the multiple options. Just for example, there is a selection of when you are filling the form of any on any test, and there is a choice of center. What are the different choice? What are the different choice you want to give you select by the help of the checkbox. There are multiple options. Multiple checkbox means there are the option to select the multiple choices. On the same way, and another input element is called radio button element. Whenever you go and see, when you want go and see to define the gender, you can find there is option like male, like female, like transgender. Okay, whatever. So just see only one option you have to select at a time. When that time you have to use this radio button. When you need to select multiple option, then at that time you choose checkbox option. And when you want to select multiple option, no multiple option, one single option you can select at the other one time, then you have to choose radio button. This is also type of input element through which we can input the data. And the students, then the next one is called submit button. When you complete a form and you want to submit the information, submit the data, then you have to click on some button. Then you click on some button. When that button is also called a submit button, that is a part of the input element. And when you submit on it, then for the data is stored in somewhere. Actually, students, there are different ways to create the input elements that I am using it as based on this element type. For example, if you want to take the input from as a type, as a text form, you can type here input type equal to text. If you want to define your input information in the form of radio button, in the form of option button, then you have to define the type is radio. On the same box, if you want to define the submit button, the type of input is submit. Okay. Then if you want to define the checkbox, you have to define the input type equal to checkbox. On the same way, sometime when you are entering the data in the form of password, then the text field is same as the password field, but in this text field the text appears whatever you are typing, whatever you are typing. But in the field of password, you find out there is some asterisk like character will appear to you, some asterisk like character that's appear to you. If you want to create a password field, password field in a form, then you have to create input type equal to password. Then these are different common fields that help us to input the information from the users. The another field is used to define is select field. That is, the another option is used to define the select field. Select field means is a type of field that help us to choose option from the drop down list. For example, there is a drop down list. The name is state. Okay, state. There is drop down list. Select state. There is a select is written there, and there is a multiple options. Just Bihar, Jharkhand, UP, whatever. There are different options there. So when that time, even you want to define your in form and accept the data from the user in the form of select by selecting this, so then you have to define the select field. It's simply you can say that when you want to create a drop down list box and there is a number of items, and from the one items you want to select only one of them, then that time you have to use select field. Select field define the drop down box that contain a number of field names, number of field elements, and through the elements you can select only one of them. Okay. The next element of the form is called text area. As I have written here. The next element of a form is text area. Actually, all are the tags. Text area means actually a display the text either in a complete form, in the form of row and column. These are columns and these are rows. Number of rows and number of columns that you have defined. You will get a text field. You get a text area where you type. Just for example, sometime you get in the website, you want to type some remarks. So where you have to type remarks? You have to type remarks in the text area. So that text area defined by the text area element of the form tag. Okay, I'm just repeating this. When you want to define a text area that accept the data either in the form of text, number, or a combination of number, or blank space or symbols. So text area can be defined by the help of text area element of the form. In this we have to define the calls and rows, how many rows are there, how many columns are there. As you have defined the rows, as you have defined the rows and columns, the only that's much text will accept you, not more than that. So students, these are the different fields. The next field, then the next field is called button field. The next field is called button field. Button field. That field help us to accept the data. That just I'm told you here submit button. On the same way, there is a button. When you click on the button field, you will get some message. Your data is lost. Your data is successfully saved. After the clicking of the button, when you want to get some information, and some information in the form of message, then that time you have to use the button field of the form. Actually, this is the in this video I'm just giving the briefing of what are the elements, what are the elements that can be used in the HTML form. And then in my next video you can find what are the different ways, what are the what we have to type in the code to different to find the form, to create the form. So students, keep the thing this in your mind, because just is this is the introduction video of the form, and what are the elements of the form. You see my video and just remember the things that I have teach you in this video. And when I discuss about more about this, and use these forms elements in the form, you do not confuse what is it, is it a new things or not. So it is just in my introductory video of related to forms. Thank you very much all.